Okay guys, in this video, I am going to explain to you exactly how I quit my job with $100 in my bank account, and less than 1 year later, I have stacked over $200,000 and I am currently making $30,000 a month without a business or a degree. I'm going to tell you exactly how I got here and how I changed my life and how you can do the exact same thing. Firstly, it is important to understand that everything that the system tells you is a lie. They tell you that you need to get good grades, get into a good university, study hard so that you can get a good job. But who has this actually ever helped? I do not know one single person who went to uni, who did well in school, who did everything they were supposed to do, that is in a better situation than I'm in, that has more freedom or has as much freedom as I do and gets to live the lifestyle that I get to live. Not one. It's obvious that if you want a rare outcome, that you need to take a rare path. You need to go outside of the lines. This is exactly what I did, but it comes with resistance, and I believe that's why a lot of people fail. And when I say that, what I mean is every single person that I told that I was doing something different, I was doing something a bit left field, something entrepreneurial, every single person said, "What are you doing? Do you think this is going to work? What if it doesn't work?" They thought I was doing something weird, something BS, told me to get a real job. And this is exactly why it is so important to be resilient. I have also seen countless people get started and quit as soon as they get the tiniest bit of resistance. And this is why I say being resilient is one of the most important skills that you can have, because if you don't, you are going to fold at the smallest bit of resistance. And this resistance will come from people like your family, your friends, a lot of the people that you care the most about. So it is hard to tune it out. But all you need to do is look at the people who are giving you this advice and look at if they are in the position that you want to be in. Every time it will be from people who are not living the life that you want to be living. And quite oftentimes it'll be the opposite. So then why are you listening? You need to be super careful of other people projecting their own limiting beliefs onto you. Are they living the life that you want to be living? If the answer is no, continue on your own path. Almost everything is noise. You need to become elite at tuning this out and just focusing on what you're doing. If I listened to anyone in the slightest when I was getting started, I would not be here, but I didn't. Anyway, this is how I got here. I was in a really bad place. Waking up every day, commuting to a job that was so brain numbing that I literally felt like I was getting dumber. I was shoveling buckets of dirt all day. I was putting in suspended ceilings. The work I was doing was so brain numbing and soul draining that I felt like the biggest possible failure that you could be. And I didn't really have anything else going for me. I barely had enough money to pay rent at the end of the month. I was left with basically $0. So I had to take obviously a risk. I was a DJ at the time. I was going out drinking pretty much every weekend, and I basically got to a point where I was like, my situation is this bad that I have to do something. I need to make a change. This is why I think it's important that sometimes things have to get worse before they can get better. So things got bad enough, and it forced me into taking action. So I cut out every distraction. Stop drinking, stop clubbing, stop partying, stop doing anything. I basically did not leave the house, locked myself in my room, and I said, I'm going to figure out how I can make money online. I hated my situation so much, and I said, let me figure something out. I kind of stumbled across SMMA and a few different online business models, and I realized that fundamentally, if I wanted to succeed in business, then I'm going to need to know how to sell. I looked at SMMA, which is selling a service. I looked at dropshipping, which is selling products. I looked at SaaS, which is selling software. And I realized everyone is just selling shit online. So I need to know how to sell. So I ended up saying I'm going to get a sales job as an appointment setter. And I'm going to do that part-time alongside my 9 to 5 until that substitutes my income. Then I'm going to quit and focus on sales full-time. So what I would do is I would wake up at about 4 a.m. I would do appointment setting till about 6:30. I would drive an hour and go shovel dirt for 8 hours, come home. I would do some work while I was working. I would do some appointment setting stuff while I was working. Then I would drive home and I would do more appointment setting. And then my first week of appointment setting, I made $600. Now, that was not enough. That was barely enough to pay rent. I quit my job and I went all in. I put myself in a corner and put myself in a position where I had no other option but to succeed. So then I was appointment setting. I wasn't making that much money. I was maybe making $1,000 a week, which was substituted my income, but it still wasn't that good. I was still struggling, and I did that for about a month. And then the sales company I was working with, one of the sales reps at that company couldn't make one of their sales calls. And I got a call and they said, hey, this guy can't make the sales meeting. Can you take it for him? And I obviously jumped at the opportunity, got on that call. And actually, by the end of that call, she handed over $3,000, which was $300 in a 1 hour sales call. So I just went from making $1,000 a week to $300 an hour. And I saw so much potential from that point on. I had fully already dedicated myself to this. And I often see people say, what if I'm not good at it? I don't feel like I would be good at sales. I was so terrible at sales when I started. I would do role plays, and I was never actually good on role plays or anything until I actually got on sales calls, and I just learnt how to be myself on those calls. Obviously, I sucked at sales, but I just started doing more volume than everyone else in the company, and very soon I was the highest earner in the sales company. There was so many low points and ups and downs once I did get started with sales, weeks where I made nothing, and then weeks where I made, a couple $1,000s. So there was definitely a lot of long walks, a lot of deep thought, a lot of shower thoughts, contemplating, what I was doing with my life. Is this the right thing and things like that. But I just never quit, never folded, never really doubted the process. I just kept faith in what I was doing and kept faith in God, and it paid off. I definitely didn't jump from business model to business model or get shiny object syndrome. I think that's why a lot of people fail, right? Because they don't stick to one thing for an extended period of time. And I think that's where most people go wrong, is that they think it's a business model that they're missing out on, or if they'll just be successful when they figure this out. But the reason you're not successful is because you haven't stuck to one thing for long enough. The only reason I became successful was because I stuck to sales for an entire year or two. And then once you stick to something for that long, it starts to compound and you actually get good at what you do. After about 6 months in, I hit my first 10K month. And although that was my goal from the very beginning, right? That was the big number in my head. I wanted to make 10K a month. As soon as I hit it, nothing changed. I was like, cool, I hit my goal, but I probably celebrated it for about an hour or two. And then I was like, okay, how do I make more? So nothing really changes when you do hit these goals. Nothing really changes at 10K a month. You just have more freedom to kind of do what you want and operate how you want to operate. And from there, it was just about doubling down, starting content and scaling up to those 30K months. Yes, it is hard. Yes, it takes time, effort, commitment, consistency, all these things. But being a loser is hard as well. So I just want to make sure that you guys understand that you can choose your hard. Do you want a hard life of being a loser, working a job that you hate, having people boss you around? The best thing about this job is you have the ability to say you to your boss, to whoever. It gives you you money, but not in the sense of you have a lot of money, but in the sense of now you have freedom to do what you want to do. But why am I telling you all this? It is because I genuinely believe that anyone who is like me and they felt like they were meant for more and they knew they weren't meant to work a 9 to 5, they were meant to do something more with their life. I genuinely believe for any young people out there that do want to live a life and do want to do something different, by far, without a doubt, the best way to do that, to escape the rat race, to make 10K a month, to escape the matrix, whatever you want to call it, is by getting into high ticket sales. And it's not only to escape the rat race and make your first 10K, 20K month online, but this literally sets you up for such a long, successful career in business in general. And not only that, it gives you all the skills you need to literally do anything. Teaches you how to communicate, how to network, how to build relationships. Everything in life is sales. When you realize this, it's such a no-brainer that sales is the answer. So if you're a young man or woman watching this, pronouns aside, the first thing I want you guys to do is go watch The Wolf of Wall Street. That's what actually got me excited about learning sales. It'll basically get you excited about moving into this career. So go watch that, then come back and watch the rest of this video. So if you've gotten this far and you've decided you want to learn sales, you want to get the skills of communication, persuasion, influence, you want to get all these skills that are going to improve every aspect of your life, this is exactly how you are going to do it. Now, because you are a complete beginner, what you're going to do is you're going to get what we call an appointment setting role. This is what I did, and this is what 90% of closers do, because it's by far the best way to get your foot in the door for a closing role and get yourself in the industry. All appointment setting is setting the appointments for the closers and their sales calls. Pretty much all you're doing is sending DMs, booking these calls in, and you're taking a 5% commission based off the calls that actually get closed. It pretty much just looks like this. You're just sending DMs, and the conversation that you're having in these DMs pretty much just looks like, hey John, what are you doing for work at the moment? What got you interested in remote closing, or what got you interested in e-commerce, whatever you're setting for? What are you looking to achieve with that? How much are you currently bringing in? How much do you want to be bringing in? Financially vetting and qualifying them. And then if they are a good fit, you just book them on the call, and then that call goes on to get closed, and you make a 5% commission from just having that brief conversation. So this is the very first thing that you're going to do. You're going to land a setting role on an offer, and this role is going to get you to around that 3 to 5K a month mark, which is obviously a good income, but it doesn't really give you a whole lot of freedom just yet. But the reason we do this is because once you're in this appointment setting role, you're not only making money so that you can support yourself, but you're also learning the offer, learning about the customer, learning about the industry, learning about the product or service that you're selling, so that nobody in that company is a better fit than you for a closing role, because you are now an expert in that offer and in the business. You are going to actually land this appointment setting role by cold DMing people on Instagram with a message saying, "Hey John, love what you're doing with your business. Would love to join your team as an appointment setter. Please let me know if you have any room." I have linked a video in the description with a complete full guide on how to actually find clients and how to do that outreach. So if you want to know how to do that in detail, go watch that video. Then after a few months of working as an appointment setter and learning the business, learning the offer, you are going to then approach the sales manager of that business or the person who runs the offer, and you are going to ask to transition into a closing role. Say something like, "Hey, I've really enjoyed working for you. I would love the opportunity to bring in even more revenue for the business in a closing role. Please let me know if that's an option." Once you're in this closing role, literally all you need to do is perform, and you should already know the offer, you should know the customer, you should know a lot of things, and you should be able to sell. So just by closing deals, you should be able to make between 10 to 30K a month without a business or any employees. It is genuinely that simple. I would say the hardest part is probably just actually getting on a good offer in the first place. But once you do that, if you just stay persistent and consistent for long enough, you're going to actually get the financial freedom that you want. Your journey from 0 to 10K a month doesn't need to be with drop shipping or this special product or building an agency. It can literally just be by speaking to people. And you will have the skills that will allow you to literally go wherever you want and do whatever you want. If you do want to learn more about this and you want some more guidance and support on how to actually get started, how to learn the skill of sales. When I started, I had no sales experience. I didn't know what I was doing. So I actually got in a sales company and had them teach me the art of sales. If you want to learn a little bit more and you want to have that guidance and you want to have that support like I did, I do have a very successful, very tight-knit sales company and community, and we can basically show you everything that I did step by step and teach you how to do the exact same thing I did so that you can replicate my success, get your first 10K, 20, 30K month online, and whether you want to use that to go and do your own thing, you can do that as well. If you think that you're a good fit and you're willing to do the work, then there's going to be a link below for you to book in a call. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you got some value from this. I hope this helped you understand exactly how I live the life I live. And please obviously subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of the other opportunities or knowledge that I'm going to be dropping on you guys. Love.